Chosen one, you just struck a nerve they didn't even know they had. While you're sitting there wondering if you said too much, someone's entire empire of lies is collapsing. You threw one simple truth into the atmosphere and hit exactly who needed to be exposed. See, what happened wasn't random. It was divinely orchestrated. Someone walked into your life wearing a perfect mask, armed with charm and calculated moves. They'd played this game countless times before, never losing, until they met you. When you spoke your truth, you struck that nerve with surgical precision. Their mask shattered, their game ended, their false reality crumbled. You didn't just expose them, you freed yourself and countless others from their deception. They studied you first, watched your moves, learned your patterns, figured out what you needed to hear. They saw your kindness and labeled it weakness, saw your silence and called it ignorance, saw your patience and marked it as permission to play. They thought they had you figured out, thought you were going to be easy money, easy manipulation, easy victory. They came in waves just like they always do. First wave was charm. Pure, concentrated charm, designed to bypass your defenses. They mirrored your energy, reflected your values, pretended to want what you want, said all the right things at all the right times. Even their timing was calculated. When to text, when to call, when to show up, when to disappear, just long enough to make you wonder. Second wave was the emotional hook, creating a bond that felt deeper than it was, sharing fake vulnerabilities to make you share real ones, building false intimacy to gather intelligence. Every secret you told them was ammunition. Every fear you revealed was a weapon they'd use later. They were building a profile on you, learning your blueprint, mapping your weak points. Third wave was the setup for the strike. They started testing boundaries, small violations that seemed accidental, minor betrayals that could be explained away. They were checking your tolerance, seeing how much disrespect you'd swallow, how many red flags you'd ignore, how far they could push before you pushed back. But something was off this time. Something in you wasn't responding like their other victims. You felt it in your gut. That ancient alarm system your ancestors installed started going off, not loud at first, just a whisper, a knowing, a feeling that something behind that perfect mask was rotting. What you didn't know yet was that this person wasn't just bringing deception. They were carrying curses meant for you, generational curses they'd collected from others who failed before them, false prophecies about your limitations, spells designed to keep you small, confused, dependent. They were a walking collection of spiritual warfare, sent specifically to cap your destiny. Every compliment that felt off was laced with limitation. You're so good at what you do, you should be satisfied with where you are. Every piece of advice was designed to misdirect you. Maybe you should wait. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you should let me handle that for you. They were speaking death over your dreams while smiling in your face. You started feeling heavier around them. Your clarity would get cloudy after conversations. Your confidence would waver after their visits. You'd question decisions you were sure about before they spoke. This wasn't just manipulation. This was witchcraft disguised as concern, sorcery dressed up as support. But your spirit was fighting back even when your mind didn't understand what was happening. You'd have dreams that revealed truths your conscious mind wasn't ready to accept. You'd feel physically sick when they'd try to plant certain ideas in your head. Your body was rejecting the poison before your mind could identify it as toxic. You started noticing things, little inconsistencies in their stories, gaps in their timeline, reactions that didn't match their words. Your spiritual Wi-Fi was picking up signals they didn't know they were broadcasting. Your third eye was recording everything in 4K while they thought you were blind. They'd drop a lie and forget about it, but you remembered. They'd claim to be somewhere and you'd feel the lie in your bones. They'd smile in your face and you'd see the snake tongue flicker behind their teeth. Your discernment was developing in real time, upgrading with every interaction, getting sharper with every conversation. Meanwhile, they're getting cocky. They think they've got you, think you're fully under their spell. They start getting sloppy, bolder, more aggressive with their game. They're so used to winning they can't even imagine losing. They've never met anyone who could see through their performance, never encountered someone whose spiritual sight was getting activated in real time. The ancestors were setting them up. Your spiritual team was feeding you intelligence through dreams, through random thoughts, through sudden knowledge. You'd wake up in the middle of the night with clarity about something that confused you before. You'd be in the shower and suddenly understand what that weird comment really meant. You'd be driving and pieces would start clicking together like a divine puzzle. Before the moment of impact, the universe was preparing you. You were being armed with weapons you didn't even know you were carrying. Every prayer you ever prayed was being activated. Every tear you ever cried was being converted into ammunition. Every time you chose good when evil was done to you, you were building spiritual equity that was about to pay dividends. Your bloodline was rallying. Ancestors who had been asleep were waking up to fight for you. Prayer warriors you don't even know were getting sudden urges to intercede on your behalf. The entire spiritual realm was mobilizing because what was about to happen through you would shift things for generations. You started having unusual experiences, finding feathers in impossible places, seeing repeated numbers everywhere you looked, having strangers say exactly what you needed to hear at exactly the right moment. These weren't coincidences, these were confirmations. The universe was telling you that you were about to break through something massive. Your energy started shifting. People who had access to you before suddenly couldn't reach you. Calls would drop, messages wouldn't be sent, plans would mysteriously fall through. You were being isolated not for destruction but for elevation. The universe was creating space between you and anything that could interfere with what was about to happen. If you felt called by this message, hype this video so other chosen ones like you can be reached. Then came the day, the moment, the divine appointment that was written in the stars before either of you were born. You weren't planning it, weren't strategizing, weren't even thinking about them specifically. You were just being yourself, speaking your truth, maybe sharing good news about your life, maybe setting a boundary, maybe just saying no to something you would have said yes to before. But whatever you said, whatever you did, it hit different. It carried a frequency that penetrated every layer of their deception. It was like you spoke in a language only their guilty conscience could understand. The words left your mouth wrapped in divine authority and landed in their chest like lightning striking a tree full of lies. You could see it happen in real time. The mask didn't just slip, it shattered. Their faces changed, their energy shifted, their whole demeanor transformed. For just a second, you saw who they really were, the real them, the one hiding behind all that performance, and they knew you saw it. That's when the hollering started. In that moment, every spell they'd cast over your life broke simultaneously. You could almost hear the shattering in the spiritual realm. Like glass breaking in reverse, all the limitations they'd spoken over you started lifting. All the confusion they'd sown started clearing. All the false prophecies about your future started dissolving. You felt it physically, like chains you didn't know you were wearing suddenly fell off, like weight you'd been carrying evaporated, like fog you'd been walking through finally cleared. Your vision got sharper, your thinking got clearer. Your energy returned with interest. Every word curse they'd placed on your destiny reversed back to them. Every limitation they'd tried to program into your subconscious got deleted. Every false ceiling they'd constructed over your potential collapsed. You were free in ways you didn't even know you'd been bound. The false prophecies they'd planted, "You'll never succeed without me. You're not capable of this. You need my protection. You can't handle the truth." All of it started burning up like paper in fire. Your spirit was reclaiming territory that had been illegally occupied. Your soul was evicting squatters that had been living rent-free in your consciousness. Not physical hollering at first, spiritual hollering. Their souls started screaming because it had been seen, really seen. Not the character they played, not the image they projected, but the actual truth of who they were. And that truth was ugly. That truth was damaged, That truth was everything they'd been running from their whole life. They tried to recover, tried to put the mask back on, but once a mask shatters, you can see the cracks even when they glue it back together. They started scrambling, making excuses, creating new narratives, trying to flip the script and make you the villain. But every move they made just exposed them more. They went into damage control mode, called their flying monkeys, tried to rally their troops, started spreading their version of events. But something was different this time. People weren't buying it like they used to. Your truth had created a ripple effect that was waking other people up. Others who'd been fooled started seeing the patterns, started comparing notes, started realizing they'd all heard the same lies, the same promises, the same manipulations. The more they tried to cover up, the more they revealed. Every lie they told to cover the first lie created more problems. Every person they tried to turn against you ended up seeing through them instead. They were used to controlling the narrative, but truth has its own momentum, and once truth starts rolling, lies can't stop it. What they didn't understand was that when you break free from curses, those curses don't just disappear, they return to sender with interest. Every spell they cast came back to them multiplied. Every false prophecy they spoke over your life became their reality. Every limitation they tried to place on you became their prison. You started seeing evidence of this reversal everywhere. Opportunities they said you'd never get started appearing for you while disappearing for them. Resources they said you couldn't access started flowing to you while drying up for them. Doors they said were closed forever started opening for you while slamming shut for them. This wasn't your doing. This was divine reciprocity. This was spiritual law in action. This was what happens when someone tries to curse what the Most High has blessed. They essentially cursed themselves. They prophesied their own downfall. They spelled their own defeat. Your breakthrough became their breakdown. Your elevation became their devastation. Your freedom became their bondage, not because you wished it on them, but because that's how spiritual law works. You can't dig a grave for someone else without falling in it yourself. You can't set a trap for the divinely protected without getting caught in it yourself. This is where it gets beautiful. While they're falling apart, you're rising. While they're losing sleep, you're resting peacefully. While they're strategizing their next move, you're just living your life, because you understand something they don't. This battle isn't yours. It never was. You were just the instrument through which divine justice decided to flow. Your protection right now is impenetrable. They want to hurt you but end up hurting themselves. They want to expose you but end up exposing themselves. They want to destroy you but end up destroying everything they built on lies. It's like watching someone fight their own reflection. Every punch they throw comes back to hit them in the face. The universe is clearing your path in ways you can't even see yet. That person's presence in your life was blocking blessings. Their energy was creating static in your spiritual reception. Their deception was clogging pipelines of provision. Now that they're exposed and removed, everything that was backed up is starting to flow. Opportunities appearing out of nowhere, resources manifesting from unexpected sources, relationships healing that you thought were dead. But the real gift isn't what you're receiving, it's what you've become. You've been upgraded through this experience. Your discernment is military grade now. Your intuition is prophetic level accurate. Your presence carries an authority that makes demons nervous. You can't be played with anymore, can't be manipulated, can't be deceived. You've graduated from target to weapon. What you didn't just free you, it freed your entire bloodline. Curses that had been running through your family for generations got broken when you spoke your truth. Patterns that had been repeating for decades got interrupted when you refused to play along. Cycles that seemed unbreakable got shattered when you stood in your power. Your children, born and unborn, will walk in a freedom you fought for. They won't have to battle the same demons you faced, won't have to break the same curses you broke, won't have to fight the same fights you won. You changed the spiritual DNA of your lineage. You rewrote the code. Bonview, you upgraded the whole bloodline's operating system. Even ancestors who passed on are celebrating. They're finally free from watching their descendants suffer from the same attacks they couldn't overcome. Through you, their prayers are being answered. Through you, their tears are being redeemed. Through you, their battles are finally being won. This is why you were chosen for this assignment, not just to free yourself, but to free generations, not just to break your curses, but to break family curses, not just to expose one person's deception, but to expose a spiritual stronghold that had been operating in your bloodline for too long. The nerve you struck wasn't just in them, it was connected to an entire network of deception that's been operating for years. Your one act of truth exposed a system, revealed a pattern, uncovered a spirit that's been hiding in plain sight. Other victims are finding their voices. Other targets are recognizing the game. Other people who thought they were crazy are realizing they were right all along. This person is watching their entire false world crumble, and they can't understand how you did it. How did you know? How did you see what nobody else saw? How did you expose what was so carefully hidden? They keep replaying the moment, trying to figure out where they went wrong, but they can't find the flaw in their game, because the flaw was trying to play you in the first place. They didn't just underestimate you, they underestimated who backs you. They saw one person and attacked. They didn't see the legion of ancestors standing behind you, didn't see the angels taking notes, didn't see the Most High marking them for exposure. They thought they were hunting you, but they were actually walking into a divine ambush. People are noticing the change. They can't put their finger on it, but something about you hits different now. You speak with more authority, move with more confidence, exist with more power. It's not arrogance, it's the quiet confidence of someone who knows they're protected. Someone who knows they can't be touched. Someone who knows that anyone who tries to harm them will harm themselves. The person you exposed is learning what it feels like to be on the receiving end of divine justice. Everything they tried to do to you is happening to them. The isolation they planned for you is their reality. The confusion they tried to create in your life is their daily experience. The destruction they intended for you has become their portion. This isn't karma. This is something deeper. This is divine reciprocity. This is cosmic justice. This is what happens when you touch someone the Most High has marked for protection. You now wear armor that can't be penetrated. Every broken curse became a piece of protection. Every shattered spell became a shield. Every false prophecy that failed became part of your spiritual defense system. You're walking around fortified in ways that make you untouchable. Your words now carry different weight. When you speak, the spiritual realm responds. When you declare something, demons take notice. When you decree something, angels get to work. You've been given authority you didn't have before because you proved you could be trusted with truth, even when lies would have been easier. Your presence alone is now a deterrent. Manipulators sense your frequency from a distance and know to stay away. Deceivers feel your energy and redirect their plans. Those operating with hidden agendas suddenly get uncomfortable around you for reasons they can't explain. You don't have to do anything. Your upgraded frequency does the work for you. You've become allergic to deception. Your body literally rejects it now. You get physical symptoms when someone's lying to you. Your energy drops when you're around fake people. Your spirit pulls back when someone's trying to manipulate you. These aren't weaknesses. These are your early warning systems, your spiritual security alerts. Your story is spreading in ways you don't even know. People are talking about how you exposed the unexposable, how you revealed what was perfectly hidden, how you stood when everyone else would have fallen. You've become legendary in spiritual realms. Your name makes certain spirits nervous now. There's a bounty on your head in dimensions you can't see, but it doesn't matter because your protection is absolute. You've become a walking deterrent to deception. Your existence is a threat to every false kingdom. Your truth is kryptonite to every manipulative spirit. You've become something they never wanted to exist, someone who cannot be deceived, someone who cannot be controlled, someone who cannot be destroyed. This upgrade is permanent. You can't go back to not seeing what you now see, can't return to accepting what you now know is unacceptable, can't pretend you don't know what you now know. This is the price and the prize of spiritual evolution. You lose the ability to live in comfortable deception, but you gain the power to walk in devastating truth. Every false prophecy spoken over your life has now reversed. You'll never make it became you're unstoppable. You're not enough became you're more than sufficient. You'll always struggle became you're perpetually blessed. You need them became you're completely whole alone. These reversals aren't just mental shifts. They're spiritual realities manifesting in the physical realm. Your bank account is reflecting it. Your relationships are showing it. Your opportunities are proving it. Your health is demonstrating it. Every area they tried to curse is now becoming your greatest blessing. The false prophets who spoke limitation over you are watching their words fail. The witches who cast spells are seeing their magic backfire. The enemies who decreed your downfall are witnessing your uprising. Your success is their torment. Your joy is their judgment. Your peace is their punishment. You didn't have to fight for any of this. It happened automatically when you broke free. Like a rubber band snapping back, everything they tried to take from you is returning with force. Everything they tried to steal is being restored with interest. Everything they tried to destroy is being rebuilt better than before. You're being positioned now for things you couldn't access before. Rooms you couldn't enter are opening. Tables you couldn't sit at are being prepared for you. Opportunities you couldn't reach are coming to find you. The breaking of these curses didn't just free you, it qualified you for new levels of blessing. Your testimony is becoming someone else's key to freedom. Your breakthrough is becoming someone else's blueprint. Your victory is becoming someone else's evidence that it's possible. You're not just free, you're a freedom fighter now. Not by choice but by destiny. Your very existence proves that curses can be broken, spells can be reversed, and false prophecies can fail. The spiritual realm has documented your victory. It's been recorded in dimensions you can't see. Awards have been given, promotions have been decreed, new assignments have been prepared. You passed a test many fail. You broke through where many give up. You stood where many fall. The hollering you heard has turned into whimpering. The person who thought they were predators realized they were prey. The one who thought they were playing you realized they played themselves. They'll never forget you. You'll forever be the one who saw through them, the one who exposed them, the one who struck the nerve they didn't even know they had. Some of them might even thank you one day, when they're tired of running from themselves, when they finally want to be free from their own deception. They'll remember that you gave them an opportunity to face their truth. You gave them a gift they didn't want but desperately needed. You became the mirror that showed them who they really were. But that's their journey, not yours. Your journey is about stepping into the fullness of who you've always been. This experience didn't make you powerful. It revealed the power that was always there. You were never the victim in this story. You were always the weapon. They just didn't know it until it was too late. You're operating in a new dimension now. What used to concern you doesn't anymore. What used to confuse you is now clear. What used to scare you now seems small. You've been elevated above the frequency where those curses operated. You're living above the dimension where those spells had power. Your dreams are bigger now because the limitations are gone. Your vision is clearer because the confusion has lifted. Your faith is stronger because you've seen divine justice in action. You're not the same person who entered this battle. You're the upgraded version, the one who knows their power, the one who trusts their protection, the one who walks in authority. People from your past won't recognize this version of you. They'll try to relate to who you used to be, but that person doesn't exist anymore. They'll try to trigger old responses, but those buttons have been disconnected. They'll try to invoke old patterns, but those programs have been deleted. Every spell is broken. Every curse is reversed. Every false prophecy has failed. You're free in ways you're still discovering. Liberated in dimensions you're still exploring. Powerful in ways you're still understanding. This victory is complete, total, absolute. The person who tried to destroy you became the catalyst for your elevation. The curses meant to limit you became the reason for your expansion. The spells designed to bind you became the cause of your freedom. Everything meant for your evil literally worked for your good. You struck a nerve they didn't even know they had, but more importantly, you broke every chain you didn't even know was binding you. You shattered every limitation you didn't know was containing you. You destroyed every false prophecy you didn't know was constraining you. So here we are, back where we started, but everything's different now. You threw that stick of truth into the crowd, and the right dog hollered. The one who needed to be exposed got exposed. The nerve that needed to be struck got struck. Divine justice was served with your hands, but it was never your fight. You're still the same chosen one who started this journey, but now you know what that means. It means you can't be played with, means you carry divine authority, means you're protected by forces that never sleep. Means anyone who comes against you is actually coming against who sent you, and that's a fight nobody wins. The person hollering about their struck nerve will eventually quiet down. They'll either learn and grow, or they'll find new hunting grounds where people don't know their games. But they'll never forget the chosen one who ended their winning streak. Never forget the one who saw through their perfect disguise. Never forget the moment their mask shattered and their truth was exposed. You didn't just strike a nerve. You struck the nerve that was connected to every lie they ever told, every person they ever hurt, every game they ever played. That one nerve was holding their entire false reality together, and when you struck it, everything collapsed. Not because you're destructive, but because truth naturally destroys lies just by existing. Your presence is now a problem for every false kingdom. Your existence is a threat to every deceptive empire. Your truth is kryptonite to every manipulative spirit. You've become something they never wanted to exist, someone who cannot be deceived, someone who cannot be controlled, someone who cannot be destroyed. The ancestors are celebrating, the angels are applauding, the Most High is pleased with your obedience to truth. You did what many couldn't do. You stood when standing was dangerous. You spoke when silence was safer. You chose truth when lies would have been easier, and because of that choice, you've been elevated to a level of spiritual authority that most people never reach. This is your testimony. This is your victory. This is your confirmation that you are exactly who the universe says you are: chosen, protected, powerful, unstoppable. The nerve has been struck, the curses have been broken, the spells have failed, the false prophecies have been reversed, and you're standing exactly where you're supposed to be, in your power, in your truth, in your divine authority. Hold that thought for a moment. I need your attention for something very important. We're revealing everything we know about personal power, healing yourself and healing others through weekly Zoom call. No filters, no holding back. We have been quietly adding all the occult secrets we've collected over literal years of spiritual practice. The techniques and wisdom that transformed us from controlled pawns into conscious creators are now available to those ready to walk the same path. This is your invitation to join Obsidian Inner Order and support our platform so we can continue growing our megaphone to reach other chosen ones waiting for activation. By joining the Obsidian Inner Order, you're not just gaining access to forbidden knowledge, you're becoming part of a movement that's rewriting reality itself. It's a 360 win for all of us. Link is in the description. The one who tried to play you is somewhere right now, still trying to figure out how you knew, still trying to understand how you saw through them, still trying to comprehend how someone they considered weak destroyed their entire game without even trying. They'll never figure it out because they're looking for a human explanation to a spiritual phenomenon. You struck a nerve they didn't even know they had. You broke every spell they didn't know they cast. You reversed every curse they didn't know they carried. You shattered every false prophecy they didn't know they spoke. And in doing so, you freed yourself and others from deception's grip. You became the hero of your own story. You became the chosen one you were always meant to be, not a victim, never a victim, but a warrior disguised as a kind person, a weapon disguised as a target, a divine trap disguised as prey. Welcome to your new level. Welcome to your new authority. Welcome to your new reality, where deception cannot exist in your presence and truth flows through you like electricity, where curses break at your word and spells shatter at your presence, where false prophecies fail at your faith and limitations dissolve at your declaration. Your victory has shifted the balance of power in the spiritual realm. You've proven that the underdog can become the overcomer, that the victim can become the victor, that the cursed can become the blessed, that the limited can become the limitless. Your story is being written in the stars right now. Constellations are being rearranged to tell your testimony. The universe is documenting this victory as evidence for future generations that curses can be broken, spells can be shattered, and false prophecies can fail. You've become living proof that divine justice is real and divine protection is absolute. The person whose nerve you struck is somewhere learning the hardest lesson of their life, that not everyone is playing by their rules, not everyone can be manipulated by their games, not everyone will tolerate their deception. You've become their teacher, whether they wanted the lesson or not. You've become their mirror, whether they wanted to see themselves or not. But this was never really about them. This was about you discovering who you really are. About you understanding the authority you carry, about you recognizing the power you possess, about you accepting the calling on your life. They were just the catalyst. You were always the main character. You are chosen. You are protected. You are victorious, and anyone who tries to come against you will learn what this person learned, that you cannot be played with, you cannot be defeated, and you definitely cannot be destroyed. Every curse they speak becomes your blessing. Every spell they cast becomes your strength. Every false prophecy they declare becomes your promise. The stick has been thrown, the nerve has been struck, the dog has hollered, the curses have been broken, the spells have been shattered, the false prophecies have failed, and you're still standing, still rising, still winning, forever changed, forever protected, forever that chosen one who struck a nerve they didn't even know they had and broke every chain they didn't know they created. Your crown is heavy with authority, but you wear it well. Your armor is thick with protection, but you move freely. Your sword is sharp with truth, but you wield it wisely. You've become everything they feared you would become, everything heaven knew you could become, everything you were destined to become. The war is won. The battle is over. The victory is yours, not because you fought harder, but because you fought smarter, not because you were stronger, but because you were covered, not because you were perfect, but because you were chosen. And chosen ones don't lose. They learn, they grow, they evolve, but they don't lose. This is your season of reigning, your time of ruling, your moment of manifesting everything that was held back while you were bound. The curses that capped you are broken, the spells that stopped you are shattered, the false prophecies that limited you have failed. Nothing stands between you and your destiny now. Nothing blocks you from your purpose. Nothing prevents you from your promise. Walk in it, own it, celebrate it. You struck a nerve they didn't even know they had. You broke every spell, curse, and false prophecy projected over your life. You won a war you didn't even know you were fighting. You defeated an enemy you didn't even know you had. You reclaimed territory you didn't even know was yours. The universe salutes you. Heaven celebrates you. Your ancestors honor you. Your bloodline thanks you. You are the chosen one who changed everything. And this is just the beginning.